Ladies and gentlemen, I thought about this topic for a long time. I think I've made sort of like a similar video, the previous video I made about Jiri Prochazka, but I want to do an analysis of Jiri Prochazka's presence in the UFC and Dana White privilege coined by El Kukui, Tony Ferguson. So, we sat down watching a press conference between Tony Ferguson and Michael Chandler before their fight. Tony Ferguson stated that Michael Chandler had what was known as Dana White privilege. So essentially, fighters who are privileged or who get preferential treatment from Uncle Dana, 60 G's, baby. So like, I'm thinking, does Jiri Prochazka have Dana White privilege? And when you think about it at a fundamental level, Dana White privilege, in my opinion at least, applies to fighters who have, to an extent, some form of hype behind them. Think about it, right? Not every fighter has Dana White privilege. Conor McGregor, to an extent, has Dana White privilege, right? But also, Conor McGregor brings more revenue to the UFC than many other fighters. So then, as a result, in my opinion, he gets preferential treatment from Uncle Dana, right? So Jiri Prochazka getting a title, challenging for the title, or being the number one contender for a title shot against Glover Teixeira, the current reigning, defending, undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, the man that needs no introduction. Jiri Prochazka getting a title shot against Glover Teixeira makes a lot of sense because, as I've mentioned, Jiri has a lot of hype behind him. And though if you look at a lot of fighters' trajectory throughout mixed martial arts or the UFC, it's always been like this. A fighter comes in, has a lot of hype behind them, like Darren Till. Guess what happens? Wins a couple of fights and then gets choked out at the pinnacle of their hype, basically, if that makes sense, in a sense that they are competing for the title, they've competed for the title and they lost. Do you know what I mean? And all that hype just dissipates, right? Jiri Prochazka, on the other hand, is on this trajectory or on this path, right, where he's just literally knocked out the former title contender in Dominic Reyes. Think about that. Dominic Reyes, an incredible southpaw. Do you know what I mean? Knocked him out, defeated former light heavyweight contender, also the guy that fought Daniel Cormier in Volkan Oezdemir, right? So it's going to be hard to say that Jiri Prochazka has what's known as Dana White privilege, though he might have had the privilege, or he has the privilege, but I don't believe that he's been given any preferential treatment, to be honest. What he has done is he came to the UFC and knocked people out and got a title shot. And if you look at the light heavyweight division, they're at a fundamental level, there really isn't anyone in the light heavyweight division right now who I believe that could compete against Glover Teixeira and cause any trouble apart from Jiri Prochazka. So why the hell do we want to watch a very boring fight when we could just watch Jiri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira, right? That's the fight that we've all been looking forward to. Do you know what I mean? And that's the fight that makes sense. So I hear the people who are making the argument that there is a potential that Jiri Prochazka has what's known as Dana White privilege. There is a potential. I'm not discounting or discrediting that opinion or that view at all. What I'm saying is also that there's a possibility that he's very talented and him knocking out Dominic Reyes and him totally dominating Volkan Oezdemir, these are contributing factors towards him getting a title shot against Glover Teixeira. And both fighters that he's just beaten, like the two fighters that he defeated in Dominic Reyes and Volkan Oezdemir, these two fighters were title contenders. Think about that. Title contenders. I mean, bro, have you seen what he done to Dominic Reyes? Think about that. Have you seen what he done to Dominic Reyes? We all saw it. It was vicious. It was crazy, right? He knocked him out cold. Awful. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, UFC 275, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be absolutely exciting, to be honest. It really is going to be exciting. The fight's going to be taking place on a Saturday, obviously, and hope it's an early kickoff for people in Europe, because sometimes the time zone differences are bad, but I hope people from Czech Republic could watch it a lot easier, maybe during the day rather than watching it late at night. So it really depends on the time zone difference between Singapore and the Czech Republic, or time zone difference between Singapore and Britain as well. So hopefully it's easier for us to watch it. I mean, people in Britain and people in the Czech Republic, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, it's going to be taking place at the Singapore Indoor Stadium in Kallang, Singapore. And I don't believe that he has Dana White privilege. I believe that the guy is just talented, and as a result, he's getting opportunities left, right, and centre. But I think, fundamentally speaking, I believe that Jiri Prochazka certainly does need to prove himself, though, to be honest. Though he's knocked out all these fighters, he's beaten these people. But I think finally he needs to cement his legacy as someone who's worthy of that hype that UFC fighters have been talking about. Do you know what I mean? Because Saf mentioned earlier, we've had a lot of people like Darren Till who came in, they had a lot of hype behind them, and, someone choked them out or knocked them out. And, not many people are talking about them as much. So I hope he's not going to be that person, which I believe that he's not. I mean, his record just states it all, to be honest. I mean, currently, throughout his UFC career, so he's had about 32 fights with 28 wins, 3 losses on 1 no contest. Think about it, 28 wins, dude. That is just incredible. And his opponent, Jiri Prochazka, his opponent in Glover Teixeira, I mean, this bloke has had like so many fights, making his professional mixed martial arts debut somewhere back in 1997 or 98, right? And making his MMA UFC debut in 2002. So the dude has been around, the dude is incredible, absolutely sensational fighter, right? So yeah, and this record currently is at 33 wins. So this is a fight that we're looking forward to. And it's going to be a grappler versus a striker. A grappler versus a striker, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Wow. Dude, incredible. Can the wrestler out-wrestle and take down the striker and submit him? Or can the striker keep the fight on his feet and totally annihilate the wrestler? Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is going to be absolutely sensational. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God. Wow, this is going to be incredible. Anyways, so the whole premises of this video actually is that I believe that Dana White privilege to an extent is a reality, right? We've seen many fighters come through the UFC who haven't really done much, you know what I mean? They don't have as much merit as other fighters in terms of performances, wins and all of that. But they still got a title shot or still got an opportunity. So like at a crack at the undisputed title, right? However, Glover Teixeira's case is different. Like it's just different. Like though there's hype behind him, but there's also real power behind him. There's support behind him from the Czech Republic and across Europe, right? So I think with that fan base and his just incredible striking ability, I think it makes a lot of sense that he's actually fighting for this title. So yeah, at least at a fundamental level, I don't believe that he has any sort of like Dana White privilege. I believe that he's just incredibly talented. That's why like with his performances against his previous opponents, these are one of the contributing factors or reasons why he is fighting for the undisputed title. So it's incredible, and I'm just excited. I'm happy to see him fight for the title, and I believe that he will become the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world